Hello and welcome to the Tuesday night Band of Brothers call. I promise you that even though we started late, our speaker is well worth the wait. And so give us a little grace on some technical difficulties. Before we start, we're just going to go over our announcements as far as when our future DE dates are. And they are coming up. There it is. Our winter meeting, January 29th to February 1st in Atlanta at the Marriott Perimeter. Then spring 2026, April 16th to the 19th at Clearwater at Sheraton Sand Key Resort. And then back at the summertime, July 16th to the 19th, back at the Atlanta Marriott Perimeter. I hope you got your reservations in for January this year of 2026. And then we also have our Connect groups. I hope, when we leave DE, it's just so important to just stay connected. I know for me, it's important when I do the breath calls in the morning just to hear some of your voices. So stay connected, everybody. Yay, yay. And now, we didn't have much time to chat beforehand, but the heart of this man, the soul of this man just moves me every time. And I know that all of us will experience that tonight when he gives us his message. So here is from Niceville, the nicest guy, Dr. Tim Zook, to speak with us and reach our hearts. Take it away, Tim.
Thank you, Mindy. I love you. And also thanks to Laura Hill for helping me get on, because Laura, without you, I wouldn't be connected here. Niceville. Yeah, Niceville is a nice place. I've been practicing here for 34 years. I graduated in 1987 from Life College and moved to here. Well, first went out to Washington State, practiced for a couple years as an intern associate, and then opened a practice in Pennsylvania for 2 years, and then came here. On the way to Niceville, by the way, Niceville's a very likable place, and everyone says I'm likable. So here is, I am now like a bull. Like that? But on the way to Niceville, I had a lunch with a chiropractor who was not principled at all. And I was like principled, even though I didn't go to DE at the time. Because I grew up in a chiropractic family and I understood it. Anyway, he said at the end of we didn't connect, and he said at the end of our lunch, he said, "Here, I have something in the car that you might like." And he handed me a stack of Sigafus tapes, audio tapes. So I started listening to Sigafus, and in Sigafus he talked about DE. And when we were moving from Pennsylvania to Niceville, Florida, which happens to be in the Panhandle, it's beautiful here. We stopped by DE, and it was that weekend, and it just radically shifted my perspective, my life. It was a perfect time to go because I went from a really structural biomechanical biophysics practice, not really having fun, like just not practicing from the heart, and went to DE, and it just it changed me, and it's continued to change me for the past, God, how many years? 34 years since I've been going, and there, it was good, and we immediately saw volume, and I think my top day was 260 something, average probably after I got on with Sigafus about 180 a day, and then my late wife got sick, and I took her to Dr. Sweat in Atlanta, and he adjusted her, and it changed her. And I realized that I didn't know everything. And so I that I got to learn this. So I went and learned the Atlas orthogonal and started practicing that way. And immediately the volume went down because you just can't adjust this fast. And I know that. And so we worked all that out. And then she ended up passing away in 2021. And the last 5 years have just been really, really kind of tough for me. And I haven't, and those of you who know me, I haven't really been myself. And it just really shook me to the core. Last night, I woke up. I didn't know what I was going to talk about, but I'll just tell you. I woke up with a dream at 3:00 in the morning, and it was one of those dreams that was just really vivid. And I was talking to two people in heaven, and they were telling me things. And one of the people in heaven was telling me basically how there's principalities in heaven that have been disappointed in me. And they love me, and it's weird. They said hundreds and thousands of prayers have gone up for me in heaven, and I didn't even know that was possible. I know this is kind of odd, but this is just what happened last night. And then I was told that Josh Baldwin, who is a Christian singer, and I was told that when he came to this earth, that he was I know this sounds really crazy, but this is what I told in my dream. The body became available, and he was assigned to this earth to do a mission. And so there was kind of a competition for the body. He won. He came into the body, and now he's singing this Christian music. And what I was told in heaven is that music is what I need to get back to where I need to belong spiritually. So all day long, I've been listening to Josh Baldwin. And it was a really rough day, and I was arguing with people, and I wasn't happy, and my ego was kind of coming up, and I was kind of angry about the dream. And then something broke in me this afternoon where I just kind of surrendered it, and I gave up, and I said, okay, I'm in this, I'm back. And something shifted, and I was thinking, my top day was 240 something, and I started thinking about most of that was like kind of bullcrap because it was my ego. It was a number. And then I thought of this little girl that came in the office yesterday. She's 3 years old. And a few months ago, she comes into the office. The parents had me check her. She was very sick, like high fever, just not keeping anything down. And they wanted to get her adjusted. And I checked her very quickly because I was rushed. And I scanned her with the little thermometer, and she was even. And I didn't check her really well. And I said, she's clear. She's good. Just give her time, right? Next day, they call me at home. They said, she's worse. Can you check her again? I said, sure, bring her over. So they came over to my house, and I adjusted her. I checked her. I laid her down on the table. She looked pale. She looked horrible. She was high fever. And I laid her down, and I checked her, and I felt her little atlas, and it wasn't atlas, and I felt C2, and C2 was, no. C2 was massively like subluxated on the left side. And I turned her on the side, and I used the activator, and I adjusted her. And it cleared, turned her back over, and she sat up, and she said, I'm thirsty. And I'm telling you, within a minute, maybe 2 minutes max, her fever was down. She got her color back. I went and got her some water. She drank it, and then she drank another glass. And they said that's the first time in days she's even kept water down without throwing it up. And she came in a couple days later, and I checked her again. She was good. And when she came in yesterday, the father said, I've learned to trust her when she says she needs to see the chiropractor. She needs to get adjusted. She came in yesterday. She was out, not as bad as that one night, but she was out, and she knew it. And she's 3 years old, and that was one of the biggest dramatic miracles I've ever seen a couple months ago. And I started thinking, in my rushness. And in my ego, she's clear when she wasn't clear, obviously. And then when I slowed down, I really checked her and she needed an adjustment. That one adjustment was my biggest day. That was my biggest day from God's perspective. From my perspective, my biggest day was 240 something. So it's a shift. And I don't quite know what's happening, but there's a shift that's taking place. And I know what my assignment is right now is to get back to be connected again. And I've been like a little bit of a rebel in my own mind and my own heart these last 5 years. And I've been a little bit angry and just, I'll show you kind of thing. And it hasn't worked out too well. So that's where my heart is right now. I'd like to share one other thing that happened that's actually pretty cool. The reason I got into chiropractic in the first place, and I hope I'm doing all right with time, I'll just finish with this because I know we started late, but is when I was a kid, I had asthma really bad. I got adjusted twice by Dr. Kaiser in Ephrata, Pennsylvania. Asthma's gone. I remember being able to breathe when I left his office and saying, "Mom, I can breathe," as we walked out the door. And that's the last adjustment I got for like 10 years. And I thought chiropractic was for asthma until I found out that everyone else thought it was for back pain or neck pain. And I didn't know what the heck it was for, right? Now I do. Anyway, about 10 years ago, I had a bicycle accident and I was going through sickness with DAR, tremendous amount of stress. And for whatever reason, the asthma came back. And it got to the point where I was desperate and I went in and I got checked and they said, "You're in really bad shape." They gave me inhalers to take. So for 10 years, I've been taking inhalers. And I'm not proud of it. It's just something that I didn't know what else to do. In September, I go out to Mile High with Laura, and she's been adjusting me with network technique. And, I felt some things, but I didn't really feel, I felt, some changes, but not really with the asthma. But about a week before we went to Mile High, all of a sudden I was breathing easier. And then Donnie Epstein, if you're familiar, I didn't really know his work with network. I'm saying this for a reason, but he wanted to adjust me. And there's always like 10, 15 people around him. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying, they're faking it. This is not really real, because people were like flailing all over the place and making noises and all kind of body gyrations. And I didn't really believe it. I thought it was just, they were just like pretending or something, right? So I get on the table and the next thing I know, I'm crying and flailing probably a little bit. And he's telling me that when I was in the womb, something really stressful happened to my mother, and that's where the asthma came from. And I need to let go of that. And he did whatever he did, touched a few points, and that was it. And then we went and walked around the hotel, and I kept crying. And since then, I haven't had the inhaler once. And my breathing's been perfect. And I went back and got checked 2 weeks ago at the allergist asthma doctor that I go to see once a year, and without inhalers, and my lung capacity and function is well over 100%. So what the heck happened? Chiropractic is so deep and so like unbelievable what we have in our hands, and I still don't understand it. And I do what I do and see like occasional miracles and really good results when I'm on. But there's something that we can, like some kind of level, and it's a spiritual thing that we can reach, that apparently Donnie Epstein is there. I'm there sometimes, but sometimes I know I'm just pushing bones and it's all mechanical. But sometimes I'm there and people are healing, and it's amazing, and it's a wonderful profession. But the adjustment was something extra that BJ talked about, and in Toggle they said it's the torque I don't think it's the torque. I think it's being connected to the spirit and being connected to that patient's spirit and really tuning in, no matter what technique is used. So I'd encourage all of us to be open-minded. I always thought I had the best technique, and then I thought I had the best technique, and I'm realizing I don't think it's the technique. I remember Dr. Santo saying that, I don't know if he said it to me or to DE, I was pretty close with him, but he was saying, you learn a different technique and you're all excited about it, you're getting all these great results, and then all of a sudden it just kind of fades. And then you learn another technique, you get great results, and then it kind of fades. And he was saying it's not the technique, it's your excitement about the technique. So what this all means, I don't know. What it means for me is that I got a wake-up call in the middle of the night at 3 o'clock in the morning last night of exactly what I need to do, what God is telling me to do. All along, I have kept doing my declarations, and I've kept seeing myself. I am young, I'm healthy, I'm strong, easily living 100 years. Every morning or almost every morning. And I declare that among other things. And even when I was unable to breathe, and all of a sudden it happened. So I know less now than when I graduated 38 years ago. But I know more than I ever thought I'd know. It's a beautiful process. It's a beautiful life. I was adjusting yesterday thinking, God, if I weren't doing this anymore, if I was to retire, I would be really, really sad. I would really miss it because I was in a good space yesterday. So anyway, I love you all. I love DE. I'll see you all in January, and looking forward to bigger, better things. And it's okay to be like a bull sometimes. I'm out.
Well, you might be out for the talk, but you're all in for how to be the server that you are, to be connected. And I forgot to mention you had that sense of humor when I introduced you. I have on my blackboard this week.
Lost you.
Oh, I'm back again. I don't know what's going on with this whole computer thing tonight, but I am so grateful for you, Tim. And DE is grateful for you because you're vulnerable with us. And when someone shows everything, their warts and all, it makes us easier to show it. And so I'm always grateful for that. But I'm also grateful for that your journey is showing some more happiness. We can see it with you, and I'm grateful to see that happening for you. So tomorrow, when you're with your people in your office, it's going to be a well-connected day. You're connected to the source. So thank you for talking with us tonight. I love and appreciate you.
You too, Mindy.
See you in January.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everybody.